Most people know Hanukkah as the Festival of Lights. Some know the story of the oil. But that's only the final page of a much larger investigation. Because before there could be light, there had to be demolition. In 164 BC, Judas Maccabeus marched back into Jerusalem and found a temple that had become a crime scene. And the evidence stood at the center of the courtyard, the altar. For generations, it had been the place where Israel's covenant sacrifices were offered. Now it had been defiled by pagan worship and unclean sacrifices. The question wasn't how to cleanse it. The question was whether it could ever be used again. This is the Maccabean Dossier, a forensic investigation into how rebuilding one altar reshaped Jewish history and quietly prepared the world of the New Testament. According to 1 Maccabees, the priests inspected the altar and reached an astonishing conclusion. It couldn't be purified, it couldn't be repaired. It had to be dismantled, stone by stone. Every defiled block was carefully removed and set aside until a future prophet could determine what should be done with them. Then came another surprising decision. The replacement altar wasn't built with beautifully carved stones. It was rebuilt with rough, uncut stones. Following the instructions first given in the Torah, the altar wasn't reinvented. It was restored because healthy restoration doesn't invent new foundations. It returns to the ones that were abandoned. Then another question emerges. Why was the dedication celebrated for 8 days? Many people immediately think of the later tradition surrounding the oil. But the earliest historical sources point to another reason as well. Only months earlier, the people had been hiding in caves, fighting a guerrilla war for survival. Because of that conflict, they had been unable to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles, Israel's great 8-day celebration of God's presence among his people. Now, at last, they could. The temple wasn't simply reopened, it was rededicated, not merely as a building, but as the restored center of covenant worship. The celebration became known as Hanukkah, the dedication. Victory, however, created a new challenge. The Hasmonean family became national heroes. Over time, military leadership became political authority. Eventually, the Hasmoneans combined royal power with the office of High Priest, even though they were not descendants of the traditional Zadokite priesthood. That decision divided Jewish society. Some embraced the new leadership, others rejected it. Out of those debates emerged movements that would shape the New Testament world: the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the Essenes. Long before Jesus entered Jerusalem, the religious landscape had already begun to change. If that detail about uncut stones caught your attention, that's not a random rule. It traces back to the covenant instructions given at Sinai itself. The Exodus to Conquest Master Dossier is the forensic case file on that foundation. The plague mechanism in Egypt, the Red Sea crossing physics, the real Mount Sinai site, the Jericho destruction layer. Link in the description. Step back and look at the pattern across this entire series. Antiochus tried to erase covenant identity. Mattathias refused. Judas resisted. The temple was reclaimed. The altar was rebuilt. But history rarely ends with victory. The Hasmonean kingdom gradually fractured from within. Competing rulers eventually appealed to Rome to settle their disputes. Rome didn't conquer a united nation. It inherited a divided one. And when Pompey marched into Jerusalem, Jewish independence came to an end. Hanukkah wasn't simply about recovering a building, it was about restoring the place where covenant met community. Stone altars can be rebuilt in days. Covenant identity is rebuilt one generation at a time. Sometimes history survives not because empires endure, but because ordinary people refuse to abandon the foundations that made them who they were. The Hasmoneans didn't lose their kingdom to Rome's army. They lost it the moment they started settling their family disputes in Rome's court instead of their own. Rome didn't need to conquer Judea. Judea handed it the invitation. The Maccabean Dossier is now complete. But the next empire won't arrive as a liberator. It will arrive as an arbiter. A divided nation will invite Rome into its own conflict, and Rome will never leave. Our next investigation begins with Pompey's breach. Rome enters the Holy of Holies, where Jewish independence ends and the stage is set for the world of the New Testament. The next file is already being prepared.